There's a clear six-player top tier of defensemen in the 2024 NHL Draft. Adam Jiricek is probably the closest out of that tier to breaking into it. In fact, if he hadn't gotten hurt midway through the year, there's a good chance he might be in that top tier with those top six guys. After all, Jiricek has a lot of strengths in his game and a lot of things going for him. He's a right-handed shooting defenseman with good size, who's probably a better skater than his brother David, who went 6th overall to Columbus back in 2022. For David Jiricek, skating is a bit of a weakness. For Adam Jiricek, it might even be a strength. Defensively, Jiricek is extremely sound. Scouts pretty much universally love his defensive game. He has a real natural understanding of physical leverage, of positioning, of how to win battles. His skills just seem very translatable to the NHL level, at least on the defensive side. And as for his offensive game and his game with the puck, he does flash legitimate creative potential on that side. He's efficient on breakouts, and while the offensive skill doesn't show up all the time, it does pop on occasion and speaks to what he might become a few years down the line in that regard. In terms of skill set, Jiricek is a high-floor defenseman, and if you believe in the offense, he might have a high ceiling too. Now for the weaknesses. Obviously, there's the injury concerns. He missed half the season with an ACL tear in his knee. He'll spend the summer rehabbing and getting ready for training camp. The expectation is he'll be ready for training camp in the upcoming season, but those kind of injury concerns are always going to linger with a player. If you're talking about the skill set, though, the big worry from scouts is the offense. It's unclear how much of it is going to translate to higher levels. It really didn't even translate that much this season. Before the injury, he only had 1 point in 19 Czech League games, so there's concern as to whether he actually has two-way upside or if he's only going to be a defensive defenseman at the NHL level. It also doesn't help that when you watch him play, he's not an especially dynamic player. He does show flashes of offense. He has some creativity. He's good on breakouts. But with the puck, he's not making guys miss. He doesn't have that breakaway skating gear. He just doesn't have that dynamic element to his game that you look for in guys who maybe have top pair potential. Regardless, assuming Jiricek gets over this knee injury and comes back at 100%, we're at least talking about a solid middle-of-the-lineup defenseman, most likely at the NHL level. Given the size, the skating, the fact that he's right-handed, he's a perfectly fine middle-of-the-first-round draft pick. The wild card here, though, is the offense. If you think that offensive upside is untapped and it'll come around later, maybe he's a guy that a team might just value the same way as they value those top six guys in the top tier.
We all silly like the mayor.